Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by contribution from Ursula, and here's her story. Dear Ollie, I made a contribution to your channel. I'm sorry I cannot afford more at this moment, but your comment on this email is crucial to me. This is a follow-up to the previous video you made for me called When Narcissistic Mothers Give Birth to a Daughter, Wife, Best Friend. When I wrote last email to you, me and my boyfriend were still living separately from my mother and sister. My mother and sister live together, but the house they live in is a property of my mother and father. They are divorced, and my father is searching for any opportunity to sell this house. I was surprised he didn't do it before, as they are divorced since 4 years. He's a son husband type of narc, so basically he's capable of doing anything he wants. However, until I or my sister live in that home, he will not start the procedure in court to finally sell that house. So me and my boyfriend were living separately, and we have a cat. A man from whom we were renting that house has decided that he doesn't accept animals at home anymore, and basically in a few days had to choose house or we kick the cat out. I know it's illegal, but we didn't want to call the police just because his daughter is my boyfriend's close friend, and he didn't want to cause her trouble. You know what? No. If the daughter is the husband's best friend, your husband should turn to the daughter and say, we've had this fucking cat in this house since we moved in. Okay, because now people want to cause problems. You need to talk to your father. That is bullshit. See, we always do that. If we know somebody that's attached to the narcissist, we don't say anything because we don't want to cause trouble with them. You're the one who's losing your animal. You're the one who's potentially going to get kicked out of your apartment. Don't worry about the daughter. If the daughter's a true friend, the daughter will turn to the father and be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And if the daughter doesn't, and if the daughter's like, oh, well, that's my father's decision, well, then she's not really his friend. And that's always the fear of going to somebody trying to stand up for yourself, is that they are going to tell you what you probably already feared all along, that they really weren't on your side, that you've been making concessions to keep the friendship. And I bet that's what's going on with your husband and this girl. As every animal lover, we wouldn't kick our beloved pets, so we had to move out. We decided to move in to my family home, to my mom and my sister, due to financial reasons. However, your last video totally opened my eyes, and we know that it's just for a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 months. And all hell began, of course, and we were expecting this. They play being okay, but sending some hurtful comments here and there, being all the time mad, but saying all is okay, then showing you that you are the source of all the problems in the universe. But in such a subtle way that if you start an argument, the answer is, it's not about you, or so I cannot say anything in my own house anymore, or why are you so sensitive? Your boyfriend washed your brain even more. Of course, my boyfriend, according to them, is brainwashing me. Every single thing I do is his fault. They want to spend time only with me and they avoid him. That hurts me, of course. My mother wants a daughter, wife, best friend forever with her. I know that. That's why we are moving out. My sister is moving to another city this month. She will study there. As you said, my sister have fallen into this daughter, wife, best friend role as well. And because I want to have my life, I am seen as the worst creature ever. Abandoning my own mother because I want to move out, and they know it, as if she's dying. Yesterday, me and my mother had a big fight about my dog. My mother was crying after my dog more than after me when I moved out before. She was all the time saying that she's crying because of me, because we have not the same connection as always. My boyfriend is the pain in the ass for her, and she gets mad at me each time I say we do this and that. She would like to hear only I do this or that and not we. So And understand there's a language barrier here a little bit with her, and I think she's from this person's from Poland, so bear with it. So what she's saying here is the mother's saying, like, when Ursula talks, you always say we and not I. Like, she doesn't even want her to acknowledge the boyfriend. After that fight, I said that I'm moving out, and my sister came to me scared, saying that she wants me to promise that I will not tell my father that I am not living in that house anymore. Otherwise, my father will immediately start the court processes, as none of his daughters is living there anymore. My sister was even considering quitting studies just to stay at home with mom. And of course, my mom was happy about this. Of course, my mother would get an apartment instead of that house, or half the money for it, as it belongs to her and my father. Also, from financial reasons, half the furniture at my parents' house is mine. It's after your first video that I see how much I have paid for things just because my mom liked something, and got myself into huge debt trying to buy your mother's love, and that never really works. I always felt unable to fulfill my mother's desires enough, and that's the way she wanted you to feel. I spent nights crying that I am unable to fulfill my mother's wishes, and I actually felt an obligation to fill the gap that my father have left in her. I now start to believe that it was all her subconscious messages to me since I was little. As we all know, kids feel like it's their fault, their parents' marriage falls apart. What do you think about that? I guess that's exactly the daughter-wife best friend mechanism was supposed to do to me. Exactly. It's all about guilt to keep you from leaving, to keep you connected to her at the hip. Of course, I'm the biggest fucking bitch ever for actually taking my mother's house away from her, taking away from her someone to talk to and having a boyfriend in the first place. How the fuck do I dare to think about myself in my life? I once told her, you were my age when you moved out and started a family. Why can't I? Because the rules that apply to them don't apply to you. She then said, crying, I just hoped we will always be, and here she stopped. She basically said what she really means. I know that. She wanted me to be here, to be always together. I know that. Me and my boyfriend are actually starting to move out. However, I am lost in my feelings. I know I am aware that I have the right to have my family, my life. I also highly support my mother financially. So much so that I was taking other debt to fulfill my own needs. I know it's wrong, but all I felt was guilt that I am unable to fulfill my mother's needs. It's not your job, Ursula. This is what you were trained to think. This guilt is bullshit. This need to fulfill her needs is complete bullshit. It all comes from abuse. I wasn't aware of the narc mechanism. I thought that my narc was my best friend for real, and she wants what's good for me. I saw that she doesn't. When I found a right man who respects me, I asked myself why she was so nice to men who were abusing me before, but completely ignores the one that is serious and wants me to be happy. Now I know, and it's thanks to you, Ollie, because she never wanted you to be happy. She wanted to drive you to men that would drive you back to her. However, I am in an emotional breakup right now. I feel guilty. I feel almost like I am the cause of my mother's divorce itself. You're not. Your mother's the cause of your mother's divorce. I feel I failed in helping her, making her happy. It's not your job to make her happy. It's never been your job to make her happy. It's our own jobs to make ourselves happy. I feel like the worst bitch, even that I'm fully aware that me too, I have the right to be happy. I am sure all narc fighters have had this feeling of total hopelessness and vulnerability. When you know that whatever you do, you will be seen as the biggest jerk anyway. That feeling when you almost killed yourself to help someone else, but they don't even see it or appreciate it. They just believe it's their right upon you. I guess that's the life of a daughter who parentifies her own mother. I just wish someone could tell me that they appreciate me, that I am not a bad person, that I don't suck as they tell me I do, even that I give them my bleeding heart. I just wanted to know, how do you deal with those feelings? My boyfriend told me, I know I am unable to convince you that you do good by moving out. So write to Ollie. Maybe he can help you. You basically became our close friend, even though we never met you in person. Thank you for that. Really, those questions are driving me crazy. Why? How did I deserve this? What did I do wrong? Why won't you take your own life into your own hands? Why do you put this responsibility on me? Sometimes I even ask myself, is the situation at home really so bad that I really need to move out? Others have worse lives at their homes, and they are strong enough to bear it. Why am I such a loser? I almost beat myself up for wanting to be happy. I feel so selfish. I know I need to move out, and I do. I know my mother and sister are going to be nice once they see they are alone, that they will be the real test. That will be the real test. I also have a question for all the subscribers. Do you feel sometimes that it's easier when narcs actually get mad because then you have a reason to finally take some steps than when they pretend to be nice and you die being scared of the next war? My feelings are eating me up, Ollie. Do you have any advice on how to pass this time or any self-help techniques? I really appreciate it. Best regards, Ursula. Little update. We have already moved out, Ursula. And this was sent to me like 6 days ago. And the update was sent to me. I'm sorry. The update was sent to me 6 days ago. This was sent to me on the 5th. Why didn't I get to this? My emails must be out of whack again. This was sent to me a while ago, so on the 15th. So I really do wish I had gotten to it sooner. I had seen it sooner, and well, as you can tell by the voice again, it's just this battle. Look, Ursula, you're a wonderful girl, and I've read several of your stories, and I know I could tell by reading them you're a wonderful girl and a wonderful person. This guilt, all of it, what you need to keep reminding yourself is the guilt isn't real. It's not real, it's not legitimate, and you have no reason to feel it. It's easier said than done. I know that. As the thunder strikes in South Florida. It's easier said than done. All these feelings, all this torment, all this confusion. You're talking about feeling guilty about leaving the family home as a grown adult trying to move on with her life. Like, it's not something to feel guilty about. It's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine on our chat program, and we have a room where we go and we talk yesterday. He basically told the same story as you did, Ursula, this guilt and these sabotaging tactics that are done that were to drive him home. And he finally got out eventually. But what you have to understand is this isn't uncommon with this type of abuser. There's thousands and millions of people out there. There's thousands of people just on my channel who deal with the same thing, who deal with the exact same thing. And yeah, you're right. It would be easier a lot of times if they would just freak out on this. If they just start getting, because then that makes it easier. Because this passive aggressive shit, that veiled abuse that they put out there, that if you call them on, you're just being sensitive, you're just being crazy, you're blowing it out of proportion. I can't talk in my own house, and then I'm the victim. Doesn't end. And it's damaging. And it would be easier if they would just be outwardly abusive all the time, and that would make it easy, and that makes it easy to walk away from. Because of their passive aggressiveness, because of our tactics, is what is making it so much more difficult for you. Because you are still locked in the cycle of narcissistic abuse. How are you going to get away from it? The major overriding theme has and always has been since day one of this channel is you can't heal if you stay in contact with them. And look at what staying in contact with your mother does. Put you right back in the same dynamic, the same narcissistic cycle that you've been in since you were a little girl. Until you break that contact fully and get some clarity and get some time, real time away of the zero contact, this is going to continue over and over and over again, and you will continue to blame yourself unnecessarily. If you have a boy, if your boyfriend is telling you what I'm telling you, you just need to say, okay, I trust you. I'll take your word for it. I'll put my faith in you. Put your faith in your boyfriend. Put your faith in me in this channel, and put your faith into the people that support you on this channel. I don't know if that was good or bad. If call it the thunderstrike of God striking down the narcissist, huh? That's where you need to be. Every time you have these doubts, you come back. You come to the people that support you. And that's how you move on. But it has to be done. But I'm very glad you got out. I'm very, very glad you got out. And I hope you continued success. And I thank you for all your support that you've given me. And I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you. So, for whatever that's worth, dear. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any advice or opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a narcissist you'd like to expose, or a topic you'd like me to cover, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email link in the description box. And remember, when you do email me, to please put whether your story is with or without contribution, and what name you'd like to go by at the top of the email. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.